evening and welcome to Meticulous Moments. My name is Juanita Kapp. You can reach me at meticulousmacarons@gmail.com or find me on LinkedIn. Since the COVID-19 pandemic hit the globe, I've had the wonderful privilege to meet a wide array of fantastic individuals. These individuals have truly touched my life in so many positive ways. Amongst this group of people, there are authors, public speakers, life coaches, poets, leaders, and visionaries. They are the unsung heroes of our time. Therefore, I decided to start the Meticulous Moments movement out of a sense of my gratitude. It is my way of giving back to the community. Let us share and reshare their stories in an effort to build a better society. Good day everyone and welcome to the Meticulous Moments podcast where we facilitate community upliftment through leadership development. And today we have the wonderful privilege of spending time with the amazing Jay Perez. He writes, "A narrow road worth achieving. The experience of a business owner. The road to success is narrow. It's meant to test your limits. Yet a lot of people seem to forget nothing worth achieving will come easy." With that said, I want to share what I've learned along my journey. Setbacks will happen. Who you surround yourself with will determine your success. Comparing yourself will destroy your momentum. You must show up for yourself every damn day. The lessons learned. When I say setbacks, I mean you're likely to want to give up. In fact, no one would blame you if you did give up. But that isn't the point. The point of any success story is consistency. Don't let setbacks determine your outcome. To reach your goals, you'll need to purge your inner circle. Toxic, hateful people won't be able to aid you. If you want to be a success, surround yourself with people who you aspire to be. It's equally important you never compare your journey with others. Gary Vee said it best, "You're not lost, you're just early in the process. Your experiences will give you all the tools you need." There is one sure way to succeed no matter what. Show up. Show up when you have good days, bad days, and ugly days. If you do this one thing, you'll achieve anything and everything. The question is, do you have the mindset for that lifestyle? What I have achieved and how you can too. When I started Exodus, I quickly narrowed down my business core values. Commit, execute, and conquer. These core values represent the mindset I had during my early years as an entrepreneur. I had to commit to a goal and show up for it. I had to stick to a plan and execute it each day. I had to conquer whatever came my way and not let hardships determine my success. The Fast Bar Pro is a fitness equipment I invented while building my coaching business. The piece of equipment is a perfect example of pushing through hard times because at first I was laughed at. Yet I didn't let that stop me. I kept going and I got better. The Fast Bar Pro got even better and now I have more orders than I can keep up with. Now I'm in a place where I can help others achieve their success story. All my experiences have led me to start Genovix, a business consulting agency. With Genovix, I want to give you and your business a head start by providing you the tools and resources you need to grow and expand. By joining Genovix, your business is guaranteed to not only survive, but thrive. Overall, the road to success is meant to mold you to your purpose. Welcome the struggle and enjoy the life you are paving because your success journey is best lived when you remember anything worth achieving is never easy. We had such a phenomenal interview. Thank you, Jay, for making time for Meticulous Moments and for edifying and uplifting the community. We appreciate you. Listeners, to you, sit back and relax and enjoy this phenomenal interview with an amazing entrepreneur, Jay Perez. And with that, we welcome our special guest. Welcome, Jay Perez. Good evening, Meticulous Moments audience. Thank you so much for joining us for yet another vibrant session. And today we have the wonderful privilege of spending time with the marvelous Jay Perez. Good evening, Jay. How are you?
I'm doing amazing. Thank you for asking. How are you doing?
I'm doing so well, thank you. Thank you so much for agreeing to this interview. We are so excited to have you on Meticulous this evening. I know you a little bit. We've talked. We've had a virtual coffee. But would you like to introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Yes. Well, first, I just want to say thank you for even giving me this, opportunity, and a platform to just be around like-minded individuals, and so I want to say thank you. It does not go unnoticed. But yes, my name is Jay, and I would like to say I'm an entrepreneur, not a wantrepreneur, an entrepreneur. So I do have three businesses, and two of them are growing fast, and the other one is there's some big exciting news. But Exodus is my fitness lifestyle brand, and Genovix is my, I would say, business growth brand. It's where businesses come to grow, and Exodus is where people come to be better. So that's it. And then the Fast Bar Pro, which is a fitness product, but it's on the hush hush. I can't talk too much about it right now, but be ready for that maybe next time.
Wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. So you are a diverse entrepreneur and you've seen it all. You've been through it. You have a remarkable story. And, when we had our virtual coffee, we talked about the businesses. We talked about your likes and dislikes. We talked about who you are. And then we got to the good stuff. I remember telling you now we're getting to the good stuff. And would you like to explain to the audience exactly what you've been through and what it took for you to get where you are today?
Perfect. I will tell you, I want to start off with what it took real quick, just because I want it to be understood that whether you have a struggle, a hardship, or a story to tell, you still have these characteristics that I have, that Juanita have, that other people, other entrepreneurs have. You still have these characteristics. Okay, you don't need a story to have these. So, for instance, it took hustle. It took the concept of, as entrepreneurs, we give up the 9 to 5. And sometimes we don't even give up the 9 to 5 because we work on our business, work overnights, which I did, and then work the day job. So I would work practically 20, 22 hours a day. And so sometimes you can't even give up the 9 to 5 job yet. But the concept is when you do give up the 9 to 5 job, you give it up to work 24/7. So you have to have that mindset first. The next thing is integrity, which is one of the core values of Genovix. Integrity comes with having authority within yourself. I don't mean stomping around and pointing fingers at people and demanding things. I don't mean that kind of authority. The authority I'm talking about is when you say you're going to do something, you do it. How many of you guys say you're going to work out and you're not? How many say I'm going to read a book, but you're not going to? You know what I mean? How many of you say you're going to start a business? That was like 5 years ago. You guys have lost so much authority in your own voice that when you say you're going to do something, you already know you're not. That, to me, if you cannot break that habit now, today, if you can't look in the mirror and recognize and call out the problem right then and there, no matter what story you hear from me today or what story you hear from other people, no matter, what trials they've gone through, the struggles they've overcome, no matter what you hear, guys, tomorrow you're going to wake up and you're going to do the exact same thing. So focus on that habit first, guys, because it's, so I guess full circle back to the beginning part of it would be, I lived in my car for quite some time, and car/storage unit. And this was about 8, 9 years ago. And this was 9 years ago. I had the future mindset of like recording it. Not that I needed to prove anyone that like my story was real, but I wanted to have I didn't want to prove anyone that like, oh, the haters. I don't care about haters. Like they don't. I don't waste my time with them. My point is, when I told somebody, hey, I was homeless and I made it, I can show them, not to prove them wrong or think. I could show them like, hey, this was me. I have recording of me. I have a video of me doing a selfie, just saying like, hey guys, this is where I'm at right now. I have a video of my storage unit that I turned into a bedroom. You know what I mean? I have videos and pictures of it. Like there's proof in my journey. That's one thing I think that some people lack. I hear people all the time, and I don't mean to be the negative Nancy, but I've asked people are like, oh, I was homeless too. I'm like, yeah, how long? Or, they're like, oh, like 2 days. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess you're homeless. Or they tell me they were homeless for a long time. And I start talking to them about like the experiences, and you can smell the BS. You know what I mean? You're like, I know that's not what was happening, because that's not how I experience. Not that my experience is the same, but I promise you, every person I've been homeless, that I've talked to been homeless, we all have the same experiences. So when that one person is like, yeah, no, I was like living luxury, I'm like, okay, yeah, you know, you're just saying fluff now. But my point is, I don't want to be that person. I don't want to be that person, right? And homelessness is just part of the journey, guys. There is more financial struggles, which we all go through, right? Heartbreaks. This is why I'm telling you, you don't need a crazy story like that, but you heartbreaks, dreams were, you recognize that probably the dream wasn't meant for you. School wasn't meant for you. This was meant, like, through all those hardships, guys, there are many more things that happen than just a big, grandiose story,
Yeah. Wonderful. No, it is quite the experience, and it shaped you into the leader and the entrepreneur that you are today. So sometimes, we go through these events and they shape our character. And of course, we can help others through our own experiences because we've been there. Now, I wanted to ask you, you are, facilitating leadership. You're helping other people to become leaders. Also, where did your leadership journey start? How do you perceive that your leadership journey start?
Again, it started within myself, right? So when you start within yourself, you're able to attract the next level, right? So for instance, my leader kind of fell into my lap as I started being a better person. So when I woke up one day, I was like, I'm going to get a better job. I did. I went from making $10 an hour to literally making $20 an hour within 3 months, maybe 2 months. You know what I mean? Like I was like, no, I'm going to get a better job. I went from living in my car to getting an apartment that was down the street from my work, down the street from my college. You know what I mean? Like it was just, as I started making those decisions, one day social media, like I just was on social media and I saw someone, I reached out to them, and it was funny because I think like 8-9 years ago, it was like 8 years ago at this time now, people answered your messages. You know what I mean? Like it's a little bit different, I think now, but I was lucky. And I messaged him. I said, hey, I want to I want to ask you where you are. Cause I saw that he was a young guy around my age, and he, and then he led me to another mentor and then another mentor. So like, I just got lucky in a sense of, as I was bettering myself, mentors started coming in, but my mentors all were brutal. Like not the younger one. He was kind of brutal too. He was kind of brutal, but the mentors, the older ones. So I had gone on a call once, and let's just say it was a Monday. And he's like, my mentor's like, I need you to do this, this, and this, and this by Friday. Right? Friday came, calls me and says, hey, what did you get done? I didn't get everything done because I was busy. Oh my God. He ripped me a new one. He's like, if I have to, he goes, I'm 100 times busier. Sorry. I'm 100 times busier than you. I have more people I have to take care of, multiple companies I have to deal with. If I have to make time to hear someone tell me they don't have time, he just cuss words, blah, blah, blah. And he just said, don't ever freaking call me again, and hung up. Boop. And so what did I do? I got things done that day, and I called them back. Or I called them back and I said, hey, I got it all done. So anyways, my point is that was my leadership. I don't know. I know today's day and age, I feel like that's not typical, but that's the leadership I got. And I think it kind of shows in my way of telling people are like, oh, you're too straightforward. But that's how I learned that. That's where I'm at now. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's how the leadership happened right there for me. That was a defining moment. And then from there, other things are keeping me accountable. Again, learning how, obviously I didn't get it done because I didn't have authority in my voice. When I started learning how to have authority in my voice, my mentors shared more knowledge. They invested more time. They supported me more. You know what I mean? They connected me with other people, because it got to a point where if I said I was going to do it, or if they told me to do it, there was no question about it. And so that is, you want great leadership. And I've done a live on this before. Yeah. If your mentor tells you what you want to hear and makes you happy and you feel all butterflies at the end of the call, you probably have the wrong mentor, especially if you're paying them. You have the wrong guru, because they're just telling you what you want to hear so you can pay more the next month. The truth is, a mentor who invests time into you and you get off the phone feeling like a piece of doo-doo sometimes, that is the right mentor. And I know that sounds crazy, but the fact that they're willing to come in, share their knowledge, share their time every week, every other day, whenever it is, even if they're ripping you a new one, the fact that they still show up says a lot about that person. You know what I mean? And again, I never had to pay for one mentor. So I got lucky with that. I know today's day and age, there's more coaching and there's more knowledge to do so, but I was blessed that my ability to get things done led to having to ever pay for a mentor. So they really came with no, they didn't make any money off of me. They came to rip me a new one and teach me and grow me. And I'm blessed. And here I am,
That's wonderful. 3 businesses later, that's phenomenal. And, it's not easy to go through mentorship, as you've said. If you have the right mentor, of course, there's a lot of things that they're going to change about you. They're going to direct you in the right direction, give you sometimes feedback that you won't like, but feedback that is necessary. So, thinking back to where you started, growing your businesses, meeting people, networking, building relationships, having your mentors. Sometimes it gets a little bit mentally tough on us because there's a lot of things happening all the time. Society is fast-paced. Everything's happening simultaneously. Everybody wants a little piece of you. How do you keep mentally strong? How do you keep yourself mentally strong day to day? And how do you cope with your itinerary, your work-life balance?
Oh, no, I think this should be another live, but no, I'm ready for it. Are you ready? So everyone, I feel you have to, oh my gosh, you hit me on a trigger topic, because I do not like the way social media portrays mental health, right? Mental health. We all go through struggles. We all have stories. Some of us are bigger than others. Some of us are smaller. Some of us, and who's to say, that's our opinion. I'm homeless, but someone could have been like, well, I came from a country of war. I'm like, oh, damn, you got what I'm saying? But at the same time, during those times, my homelessness was a huge part of my life, and it was very hard, right? So it doesn't matter if someone else is living a worse life than me. At that moment, that is my worst, right? So my point is, we all go through our worst multiple times during our journey. And now you have to grow, you have to learn, you have to adapt, you have to overcome, right? My core values for excellence is commit, execute, and conquer. Commit to a goal, commit to something. You have the authority in yourself that when you say you're going to do it, you execute the plan. So commit, execute your plan, then conquer your excuses, or conquer what life has to give you. Those are my 3 core values in getting things done. With that being said, is my mental health fluctuates like everyone else. There are days where I'm on it. I can rule the world, literally. And then there's days where a period isn't put at the end of my sentence and I will break down crying. Like, you know what I mean? Like the smallest things will just break me. you have to, when those times come, you have to learn how to delegate, right? Delegate your time, maybe delegate your team, delegate your circle, delegate your family. You have to learn how to, when you start getting into those moments where you're breaking down, you're crashing, take a step back, have a bird's eye view, and see why. Are you pouring from an empty cup? That's my biggest flaw. That's my biggest kryptonite. You can do me dirty, and tomorrow I'm helping you still. Like, I had to learn how to still be nice away from people. Me being nice now isn't helping you after you've done me wrong. Me being nice to you now is just not taking any action against you, keeping you away from me, keeping you far from me, and just wishing you and praying for the best for you. That's me being nice now. Me being nice isn't you doing something wrong to me and then me helping you the next day. That's called stupidity. That's what's called stupidity, right? Now, even going a step further of the pouring from an empty cup, the more you keep pouring into people who aren't pouring back, you will crash. You will crash. And it's hard. That, for me, that has been what I've been homeless. I've been broke. I've been starving. I've lived in storage units. I've had negative dollars in my account. None of those were harder to overcome than the day I had to realize I was pouring from an empty cup. The day I realized that my community, my circle, my friends and my family and my members and my clients and my agents and my coaches and my team, I would say, like, out of 100% of the people, I would say 5% of them were pouring into me. So I wasn't being poured into as fast as I was pouring out. That day almost broke me. That realization almost broke me, because it made me realize that, like, no matter how hard I went above and beyond for people just sometimes suck, right? So back to how do you overcome the mental? And I'm sorry, I share that because I want people to identify this. I want them to identify this because it once you identify it, I promise you, nothing is harder than looking at a friend, quote unquote friend, and saying, I can't have you in my life. Nothing's harder than telling your significant other or your partner, I can't be with you. Nothing's harder than telling your family, like, hey, I love you, but it has to be from afar. The moment you make those decisions, oh my gosh, your business is going to blow up. It's one of the hardest things to do in business. It's the hardest thing to do in business. And once you're able to do it, I can do anything now. After telling people I need my space, or I can't have you in my circle, I can't have you in my facility, I can't be helping you anymore. Like, those are hard. And the moment you're able to do it, man, I can do anything now. I can literally do anything. So that helps relieve that mental stress, because I feel like that's where a lot of mental stress comes from. Now, last thing I want to talk about is the mentalness is, look towards people who have done it. Look towards people who can share knowledge. And I did a post on this, but don't look towards the people who are manipulating your weakness, right? The people who post themselves crying on Instagram. And I'm going to say it right now. If you're crying on Instagram, I have to get the right lighting with the right filter, with the right angle, the right music, edit it, and then post and say that's mental awareness. And then you see the comment saying, you're so strong, you're so strong. That is not strength, guys. That is not strength to me. That is called manipulation. They're making money off of the views and clicks you're getting. Sorry, I know you want that to be the solution is to look towards that, because it's easier than the alternative. The alternative is facing your demons, right? The alternative is showing up when you don't want to. The alternative is feeling lonely but still making things happen. I've been there, guys. I was homeless for a year and not one person talked to me. I was literally the definition of a ghost, or almost a little bit. Definition of a ghost, guys. Yeah. I know what loneliness looks like. And in my loneliness, I created my first company. Okay? My point is, you do not look towards these people who are manipulating you. Stop thinking that's strength. It's not strong to just manipulate or identify yourself as your hardship. I'm not the homeless guy right? I'm Jay, the CEO that owns 3 companies, right? I'm not the homeless guy who went through mental depression, anxiety. You know, we all go through suicidal thoughts. There's not one person that has not thought about ending it. Not one person. You're not alone. It's not, I'm not saying it's not a big deal. What I'm saying is there's a reason why we don't do it. There's a reason why not everyone's dying every day, right? Of like millions and millions and millions, because we don't do it. We just don't. We have the thoughts, but we don't do it, right? My point is, you're not alone in these thoughts. It's harder to, again, address these situations and make things happen. But again, that's not who you are. You're not that identity. I'm not the guy who had, you know, I am Jay who builds a community. I am Jay who builds companies. I am Jay who's there for you. I'm Jay who has overcome, right? That is my identity. From that identity, though, did come the hardships. The hardships are part of you, but they're not all of you. You know what I mean? So, and I apologize. I tried not to go on and rant on that because it's been a hot topic for me for the last month. I'm just sick and seeing people so unwilling to work on their mindset. Now, again, I want people to feel safe to talk to me, which people do. Guys, I don't have a huge community for no reason. It's not like people aren't scared of me. People come to me and share their darkest moments and their weakest moments and their struggles. But my point is that I don't know. I'm beating on the drum. But my point is, like, guys, you aren't that in that low moments. That's not who you are. You can become something 100 times better because of those moments. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. No, we do. We change. And, you know, the way I always tell people, I don't control the waves, I ride them. I think the problem these days is that people want to control every situation in their lives. And then they feel helpless when they are unable to do so, because to feel that they are able to control whatever, you know, it's not always possible. There are things working, you know, in our lives, people, and in the universe, and we should really stay in our flow, I'd say, with regards to mental health, because we hurt ourselves less if we go with the process, if we trust the process. And I agree. I mean, there's a lot of anomalies out there on social media. So yes, that is something to look out for. I also want to add that when we go through these trials and tribulations, there's 2 things that we develop that we need, that are essential, especially when we become entrepreneurs and business owners like you and I and the other, you know, leaders that we know. And the first thing is we really cultivate a discernment. We know what is going to be beneficial for us, and we know what is going to work against us. That's the first thing. And the second thing is we actually kind of develop a thick skin. And that is necessary in business, because you can't be everything to everyone all the time. Sometimes, you know, people are not going to like you from the get-go. Sometimes they will. Sometimes they want to do business with you. Sometimes they prefer not to for now. Maybe it's just not just a no. Maybe it's just a maybe for later. So for you, you have 2 businesses that are running and a 3rd upcoming business. And I would like for you to delineate between Genovix and Exavis. What's the differences between them? How do they kind of complement each other? Just maybe give a layout to the audience what they're all about.
Yes. So if I haven't scared you guys away yet, Exavis is a fitness lifestyle brand. I would like to say it's a overall like health, right? It's where the 3 core values come into play: commit, execute, and conquer. So when you commit to yourself, you can commit to yourself physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, right? And then when you do those things, you're able to, again, come up with a plan and then execute the plan. Yeah. Last but not least, like we just talked about right now, mental awareness being, you know, or mental health being a huge factor in a lot of, you know, spirals, going to, you know, downward spirals in our lives. But that's just one thing. There's finances, there's relationships, you know what I mean? There's things that, you know, all around the world, you know, my heart goes out to things I hear and I'm just like, oh, and it ruins my day sometimes. I'm like, geez, I heard, like, I didn't want to hear that news. And it's in a different country or in a different state or a different city. Like, it's not even, I don't even know the people, you know what I mean? So there's things that are happening in our life, but even when everything's happening, you still have to commit to yourself, execute your commitments, and conquer your excuses. That is Exodus. For me, and I'm sure we can all relate, when you feel like you look the best, man, don't you feel like you can just do anything? You wake up, you have good hair day, you know, you got a little bit of, you know, water, the fluff in your cheeks is gone, and I got a lot right now, you know, your booty looks good in these jeans today, and, you know, you just feel good, you're eating right, you're on top of your game, and next thing you know, it transfers over to the next thing, your relationships, right? Or your education or your knowledge or whatever. But one of the things it can transfer over to is your business. And that's where Genovix comes into play. You have one aspect of my sole purpose is to help you feel the best, right? Within yourself. Once you feel the best within yourself, Genovix comes into play. How can you translate the best version of you every day, the best version of you? How can you translate the best version of you into the best future for you, right? Maybe that's financial. Maybe that's growing a business. Maybe that's building your business, building a team, building a community, building your network. Again, the best version of you will attract to that, though, right? And that's where Genovix can help you and implement that. So now you become the best version for the best future. And that's kind of what Genovix is. It's business building. You know, that's the business. I'll just say business lifestyle brand. You know, it's where, again, discipline creates excellence. That's what Genovix is. Do you have the discipline to show up to your work as in your 24/7 job of building a business? Do you have the discipline to gain the knowledge? Do you have the discipline to show up into these networking events? Do you have the discipline to, you know, when you're sick, you don't call out, because who are you calling out to? Yourself? You know what I mean? Like, that is where, again, Genovix really is where discipline will create excellence. So that, hopefully that you know, kind of shows you where my, you know, where these brands are so synergetic with each other. Because if you're the best version of yourself, and you can have the best future for yourself. When you put those together, you're unstoppable.
True, very true. I remember, you know, in the corporate world, when we did training, leadership training, we always start with teaching about self-management. Then we go over to the management of others. Mm-hmm. Then we go over to the management of the corporation, and we end up with the management of the stakeholders. So that really, where it starts is with self.
Yes.
And that's something that you mentioned. It has to spill over to the other areas. It kind of snowballs. The moment you learn to discipline yourself, your life, your thoughts, get your mantras together, get your vision, your goal, that will naturally move over to the rest of your life. So that's very important. And, you know, in all of that, even if you are well disciplined, if you are super focused, if you have, you know, the best goal, the best vision, an amazing game plan, there are still trials, there are still tribulations, there are still difficulties that arise. So how would you maybe advise leaders to kind of keep their focus, to kind of stay positive in that time of difficulty? Sometimes I find when I coach people, I find that they are right at 99%. They just really have to hang on for one more activity, one more door to open, one more push in the right direction, but they give up.
Yes.
Just before they have their breakthrough. What is your advice to people that kind of lose heart? Because sometimes they get disenchanted with what they are doing. What would you say to someone like that?
Oh, so that's such a beautiful question. That is a beautiful, very powerful question. Build a habit of working hard when things get hard. Okay? That is what changed my life. That's what my crazy booty opened up a gym during a pandemic when all the gyms were closing down, because I built the habit of working hard when things got hard. What does that look like? When I was homeless, I built the habit of getting out of there, right? That was hard. When I was broke, I built the habit of working hard still so I could make that extra dollar just for bills. When I was starving, I worked hard, just as hard to make sure I had food on my table. You know what I mean? When a relationship didn't end or ended poorly because of my lack of ability, I worked hard to be better. My point is this, guys: when you build a habit, it becomes second nature. Meaning, I'm sure we all have the habit. Well, hopefully, most of us. I would like to say all of us, but have a habit of waking up and brushing our teeth, right?
Yeah, I hope so.
Right? That's what I'm saying. I hope so, right? But my point is, do you ever have to think about it? Right? No matter how sick you are, and you wake up, it just happens, right? You're mad at your significant other from the night before. You wake up, you don't not brush your teeth because you're mad. You just wake up and brush your teeth. You know, you're scared for the test that you're about to take. You don't not brush your teeth because you're scared of it. You wake up and you still brush your teeth. Why? Because the habit is so ingrained into you that no matter what your life circumstances are, the struggles, the hardships, the fear of the unknown, the emotional roller coaster that we humans have, guys, none of that stops you from brushing your teeth because it's such a habit, right? So when you build a habit of working hard when things get hard, every time something happens, that is a hardship. Boom, it's instinct. It's instinct. You're working hard. For me, like I tell people all the time, they're like, how did you open a gym during a pandemic? I said, it was just another Monday to me. Well, everyone was struggling and going crazy. And my heart goes out to the companies that didn't make it and that are struggling. My point is, though, it was just another Monday for me because I've been there. I've been in those struggles. I've worked through these struggles. It was my instinctual, like the instincts that I built inside me and the habits I built. It didn't stop me. It couldn't stop me. You know what I mean? I didn't have to think about it. So and I hope that answers I hope people can see the analogy of the brushing your teeth, because I'm sure some of you are like, man, I'm going through it hard today, but I still brush my teeth. You're right. But you didn't even think about it. You didn't even think to brush your teeth. You just did it. Imagine if you built that kind of habit with your work ethic.
Yeah. True.
So when you're that 99% there, and the doors keep open, or these doors keep coming, or obstacles keep coming in your way, in front of you, it doesn't matter because you've already built that habit to overcome them, and then eventually you'll get there. You'll eventually get there. But so I hope that makes sense. But that's the best advice I could give you guys: is imagine if you built a habit of your work ethic, of your mindset, of showing up, of having authority in your voice. You're unstoppable. Sure, you may get slowed down. I'm not saying you're not going to slow down.
Yeah.
It's not going to hurt. I'm saying you're unstoppable.
Yeah, no, I love that. Absolutely true. And you realized something when you were, at your lowest low, and you realized something very powerful. And that's what I want to also relay to all the young entrepreneurs watching us speaking today, is that it comes and it goes. It's not going to be forever. It's a part of your journey. It's something that you have to learn. It's something that you have to face to go to the next level. I know about many businesses. I know of many businesses that scaled up, that doubled their income in the COVID. And there was only one reason for that. They didn't stop. They just kept on going. They kept on going. They kept that momentum. Then I know of other businesses as well that did the opposite, that gave up. And COVID seemed like too big a giant for them, and they eventually closed. And not putting any judgment out there, but you can see the difference as well in people's health. A lot of people went home. They were stuck at home for COVID. They started training at home. There was a lot of resources online. Then you had the other people that actually developed, not because of COVID, but other health issues, because they went home and they sat around worrying, wondering about what would happen the next day. Nothing changed for them. But those that really started working on themselves and in their lives, they made a big effort and they got the results. So if you want to get the results, go out and get it because it's there. But it depends on you because the opportunities are the same for everyone. It's up to you to make that decision. So talking about decisions and, looking at people and looking at businesses, role models, who would be, for instance, someone that you find to be a good role model?
And Andy Frisella, I love that guy. Oh my gosh, he's a CEO of First Form. Man, this guy, he's amazing. He just, if I feel like down on myself, I'll listen to him because this guy got stabbed in the face, multiple times and has like a multi-billion-dollar, company. You know what I mean? Like he's the definition of like, I would say don't give up. He would say don't effing give up. Like that, you know what I mean? Like he's just rougher around the edges than I am. But I love that guy. I love that guy. He's amazing. So yeah, if I had one role model, it would be that right at the moment. Obviously I've had multiple throughout, but if I'm just going to be honest with you, he's that and a lot of politics right now. So I listen to a lot of politics. I don't want to obviously not talk about that, but I'm just saying like I listen to a lot of politics stuff. So like my role models in certain areas are like diversified. Yeah. But yeah, Andy Frisella, he has a podcast. I think it's oh my gosh, I listen to it almost every day. Just type in Andy Frisella on Spotify or Apple, it'll pop up. And but yeah, so he's a role model for me. Yeah, that one right there.
Wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Now, I often ask the guests the following. There's no right or wrong answer. Whatever comes up. If you had, it's just for fun. If you had to choose a day and a place to go with your favorite leader, who would it be? Where would you go and what would you do?
Oh man. That's a hard one. Jeez Louise. I don't want to say the obvious answer and say Jesus, but I would say Martin Luther King. This guy had it down. Man, getting the chills thinking about this guy was so powerful to have such a powerful movement to inspire so many and to pull out of this pity around the victimhood around like victim mindset without violence, with being a man of God, with just such authority. I think Martin Luther King, if I wish, he could be here today, because I really believe if he was here today, we would not be where we're at. And I think he's one of those leaders that could have changed the future in such an amazing, powerful way. I mean, this guy just seems like, yeah, I could say more about it, but I think if it would be that, and I would just probably, and to answer the rest of your question, what would I do? I would just pick his brain. I would just be like, hey, can I just be the shadow or the fly on the wall? I won't say anything at first. Let me just see how you talk. Let me see how you act in front of people. Can I step on stage with you and just see how you talk to people and see how you move them? You know what I mean? I think he would have been such a great, powerful leader in today's society. Wonderful. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, lovely answer. And time certainly has flown, and we are up to our last two questions. So my second last question to you would be, what is next for you? I know you have your two businesses, and then you're working on the third one. What is next for you? What are you currently focusing on? Are there any products that you would like to, advertise here to the audience? How can we support you?
Honestly, just follow me on Instagram at JD Perez, JAYD Perez, because I don't want to waste anyone's time, but there you're going to find out all about me. You're going to see who I am as a person. I mean, one of my stories right now, if you follow me before that hits the 24-hour mark, I'm twerking in someone's camera. Like I video bombed them just dancing in the back. Like that's just who I am. I'm the goofy guy. I'm just like I'm transparent on my social media. I talk about a lot of stuff that I am against and what I'm for, but in the end of the day, if you don't like me as a person, then I would never expect you to like my business. So like me as a person first, and I promise you, you'll be able to see that my company stand for something. Exodus is the standard. That is literally the tagline for Exodus. Exodus is a standard. And that means that when you wear the logo, you're walking around with accountability. You're walking around with a bullseye on your head, letting people know that I'm wearing this. So if I do something stupid, you can hold me accountable. Genomics literally is where discipline creates excellence. So when you're a business owner and you say you're part of Genomics, it's because you're telling companies that I will show up every day regardless. So yeah, if you don't like me, I wouldn't expect you to like my business, my companies. But if you like me, I promise you'll see that I stand for something.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And our last question, do you have any words of wisdom for the audience?
Any words of wisdom? If you felt like you were inspired by today, I want you to focus on something the most. Get a piece of paper, write down discipline, because discipline is what matters the most. I can motivate you, I can inspire you, but by the end of today, I ask you what I talked about, you would have forgotten, because that's how fleeting motivation is. That's how fleeting inspiration is. Discipline. I need you to write down on a piece of paper, discipline. And then from there, write down the person you want to be. I don't care what it is. I don't care if you want to be the millionaire who owns 5 houses, 20 cars, the beautiful husband and wife, this amount of kids. This is what my business wants to be. Write down everything you want in the future. Then write down the things that you think need to be done to make that happen. You need to visualize it. And again, you're going to have discipline across that paper or the whiteboard or whatever. And you're going to see that none of this will happen if I don't have the discipline to do any of this. Because you all know, if you want to be fit, you write down fit. You don't need a personal trainer to know, or be a personal trainer to know I'm going to eat healthy and show up to the gym. Right? Simple. You know, if you want to grow a 6-figure business, you don't need to know how to build a 6-figure business to know that, hey, maybe I need to work on my business every day for this many hours, prospect this many people, close this many sales, right? You know what you need to do. You need to have the discipline for it. So that is my word of advice. If you feel motivated or inspired by this conversation, awesome, but you're focused on the wrong thing. Because by the end of the day, I'm going to ask you and you're not going to remember. You need to write down discipline. Discipline is what is going to get you. So, but anyways, I thank you so much. I'm sorry. I hope I didn't go too over, but yeah.
No, of course not. No, thank you so much. Discipline is extremely important. I agree with you completely. Thank you so much for adding value to the Meticulous Moments podcast. We appreciate your time and we are going to cheer you on. I'll make your contact details available after the session. And guests, please follow Jay on Instagram, you said. Is that the main platform you use?
Main platform, and I'll plug everything else out there. So, and Carrie keeps me accountable. My whole team keeps me accountable. So just follow me on Instagram and I will have you follow anything else that you would want.
Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you so much, Jay, for your time. We appreciate you. And to the Meticulous Moments audience, we'll see you in the next session. Bye-bye.
Guys.